Welcome to Kohi Beans podcast.
Hi.
Hi, that's Josh. This is Alina. We are a roundtable podcast where we talk about all things anime and manga. Welcome.
Hello.
So, how's it going today?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right.
We have some changes to our future schedules.
Do tell us.
No, you're supposed to tell them.
I'm supposed to tell them? All right. So, for our future schedule, we're thinking changing things up a bit. So on one day of the week, we'll talk about a specific topic. And on the other episode, we'll talk about a specific series instead so that we can give more equal attention to different kinds of series that we've read and seen.
Also gives us a reason to watch something.
Yeah, that too. We've been a little lazy playing games lately. Less anime, but I want to get back to it, so... Mm-hmm.
Well, Horrible Subs went down a few days ago.
That's some pretty bad news. They fan subbed quite a lot of what?
That was so dramatic for no reason. I literally don't care about Horrible Subs going down or not.
But they subbed like a large amount of anime, actually. I mean,
I know, but with this kind of work, it can be anyone else.
That's
under
true.
Any name.
It can happen anytime, anywhere. But they were still going for quite a long time.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we'll look for other sources, maybe more legitimate ones.
No.
No?
Who knew a few months ago there was like a threat of anime piracy going down, and now here we are with so many websites dead.
I mean, it makes sense. We've been going down on so many laws internationally recently. I mean, it's so easy to find them, too.
It's messed up.
Eh, it depends. I mean, if you're in the industry, I think it's quite fair, you know? You lose a lot of money from it. And whether or not you get enough exposure is questionable.
Well, we're just gonna have to wait until another subbing group comes out.
That's true. But we'll see. We'll see what we do. We'll let you know next episode.
Will we?
Yeah, why not?
It's only gonna be 4 days and we're gonna find something.
I mean, I'm down to watch some new anime. There's a lot of stuff coming out, so I might as well. Alright, well, let's do a little free talk then, since we're kind of going into it anyways.
Huh?
Alright, well, do you have anything?
Well, we kind of brushed over what I wanted to talk about. The fact that piracy is going down.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking it, they're cutting off the heads of the Hydra.
Yeah, but is that so bad?
Well, I don't know. If you want to support the industry, sure. But I don't know. Anime has always been free for me, so I have strong feelings about anime always being free.
Yeah, but that's like saying there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? We can only get so much that's free in, actually having a show and series going. But to be fair, they did make the Shonen Jump weekly manga free online. So if you keep reading
only
it
the
free,
last 3 chapters.
Yeah, but if you also pay like a little bit each year, then you can get all of it in English. The only difficulty is it's a select magazine, right? We're missing out on tons of other series that don't do this. But it's still like a kind of good jump in the right direction.
Jump.
Yeah, jump. Intended. Not intended. But yeah, I think it's alright. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's pretty big that they made it free. Like, internationally, too. But only in some countries. Like, I think 10. Like,
yeah,
some
you
parts
couldn't
of
read
Europe
it while you
don't.
were in Japan.
Yeah, I had to use a VPN to get the English version, which sucked.
My VPN.
Yeah. But, if you're in some other countries, you still can't get it, which is kind of annoying. I don't know why. Okay, I do know why it's not international. Different copyright and rules, but it's still kind of going somewhere. Although they don't pay their translators very much, too. Questionable.
You really had to put your fingers to your chin for that one.
Yeah, I've been using that emoji too much.
We are an audio podcast.
And you just had to say it. All right.
I did have to say it.
Okay. Well, in other news, if there's anything else about that.
Nope.
All right. I have some FGO news, actually. Or actually, Fate Stay Night news. So the movie, which came out in Japan, like 2 months ago after being delayed since spring, finally was announced yesterday to have a USA release. But it's also in theaters, which a lot of people are calling them out for. Also, the theater that they usually have this contract with is the one that's indefinitely closing for the next couple of months, the Regal Cinemas. So a lot of people are also saying they haven't planned anything. Whereas like the Made in Abyss movie was an online streaming service. So
it came out in theaters too.
I think both, maybe. That's what I heard from other people. But I'm also a little disappointed that it's only in theaters right now. Like, I'm not not even gonna go watch it if it's only in theaters.
Oh, I'll go watch it.
All right, tell me about it.
I'll tell you all about it when I go see it.
But I want to see it, but I'm not gonna go if it's like, what terrible timing. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they'll give an update later. If you could check their website, it only links you back to the May release, and it says it's over, so you can't even buy tickets. Not very well planned.
Oh well, I guess we'll just have to wait until it's online for free.
Or the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I guess we could buy it on Blu-ray.
It would look really nice too.
I was like, for some reason I can't get this off my mind. Like, I keep thinking like I want to own an anime on Blu-ray just to see if it's really that much that worth it.
Can you play Blu-ray on like
PlayStation 4?
Right? Yeah. So you can. That's not too bad. You just have to pick a show that you actually care
Yeah,
about.
but then we went to Best Buy and I looked at all the anime and I was like, this is all crap. I don't want to buy any of this.
They're all the ones that weren't sold out, probably.
Best Buy's liquidating.
Yeah,
their
totally. Mm-hmm. Just like fries.
They're like, this shit's going out on for free. Why would we sell it? We ain't making any money.
I mean, hey, people buy Minecraft, you know.
What?
Not Minecraft. Fortnite. Wrong game. Sorry.
I was like, Minecraft has been for profit.
Sorry, I don't know enough about Minecraft. Fortnite, you know, it's free on some of them, but people have bought them before too, right?
Well, when you buy them, it's mostly parents that think they're buying the game, but they're buying DLC.
Yeah.
So they're not really buying Fortnite.
Oh, well, whatever. It happens, you know? It's possible.
Like people who bought Fall Guys instead of getting it for free on PlayStation.
Yes.
Huh!
Exactly. Anyways, on other FGO news, because I am an FGO fan.
There's more?
There's one more. The anime for the sixth story in FGO, part 1, is coming out in December in Japan. But I've been waiting for it for a while. It looks really good. It's supposed to be much better than the FGO anime, which was really bad. But this one is actually written by the creator of the series. So hopefully the storytelling is a lot more clear and less ambiguous. I don't know. The anime was not that great.
Really? You're going to trust the original creator of Fate to make a decent plot?
Well, actually, I think both of them were written by him, but most people preferred this one also as a movie, so it would be higher quality.
When we started our relationship, I asked you multiple times to explain Fate to me, and it just was like so hard to get the whole grasp of it.
It's 7 historical figures that fight each other.
That's like the concept.
Basics.
That's the concept, but I don't know. The story is all over the place. Just because it's from the original guy, I don't know if it's going to be any more salient.
Well, I mean, if you played the game and you played all the different stories, the ones by the original guy have a lot more like plot to them and make a little more sense. I mean, he started it all.
As long as he didn't make the one with
Nero? No, he
with
didn't.
Nero. You knew what I was gonna say.
Of course. That's also by Shaft. A little questionable.
Questionable. That show
I-
sucked.
I think all Shaft shows do pretty poor job at tying a story together, except for the conclusion. That's like, I don't know. I always like the conclusions of their animes.
Its pacing was crap.
Yeah, it's also a game that never got released in the US, I believe, or like in English. So it's really hard to find information about it. So it's among the least popular parts of the Fate universe. Kind of hard to say though. I don't know enough about the other ones either.
Right. Yeah, something I don't like about Fate content is that you have to have like previous knowledge before you can get into certain parts of Fate.
Mhm.
Like the FGO anime, like we dropped in and it was like Babylonia, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, huh? So I asked my friends like, what's going on? And I asked them and they were like, oh, you have to have played the game to really understand. Like this anime is just for people who've played the game.
Yeah, it's like the second to last part of the story.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, I don't know. It's a little ridiculous to expect someone to have played to a certain point to make like a good anime for them to watch.
I guess, but I think a lot of series do that. And it was a poll.
Kingdom Hearts.
What about Kingdom Hearts?
They also do that.
Yeah. But they're like, so it's a big name, right? They kind of feel like they can do it. And for some people, it works. Going to a concert, that new music DLC, people are going to go for that.
I know, but it's just not very cash money of them.
Yeah, whatever, cash money.
It's not very cash money. They could have started at the beginning of FGO.
Nah, they don't have the money for that.
Maybe because everybody watches it for free.
But it's so...
What about their game sales? Aren't they like the second biggest like app game in the world? They are.
It fluctuates a lot.
I'm pretty sure they are. They're only trumped by like, I think it's the other one.
Grand Blue
Fantasy.
Maybe.
I think it's number 1 Grand Blue Fantasy and number 2 FGO. And FGO's been out for longer.
Nah, there was a time when FGO didn't release any new content for a couple months. And they dropped out of number 10 or like 20 to 25 or something. And they immediately had to push stuff out to go back up.
Even then, that's not rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Where's all this revenue going?
I think it's because when they voted, right, they asked the audience, what do you want animated or put into a movie? And these two were the ones they picked because these two have the better stories out of the 8 of them. And number 8's being made eventually. But like 1 to 5, they all suck. You played part of it, I think, right?
I did play part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe part of the first world and maybe part of the second world.
Yeah. 0 to 5 aren't that great.
Yeah, but even at the beginning of Babylonia, they couldn't give a little bit of like, oh, by the way, you're hooked up into this machine that sends you into problems in time that you have to resolve to save the world. Or to stop time from stopping the end of time and existence of humanity.
I think they did briefly for like
totally
2 minutes.
Did it. They
They
just fell out of
totally did.
They just fell out of the sky. I remember
There's
how they
also
opened.
a whole movie dedicated to the beginning. I mean, I'm not saying they do a good job, but there's other stuff. But you're right. They expect you to watch more of it.
Play more of it?
Or watch it. I mean, the whole movie was about the beginning of the game.
Oh, maybe we should have watched that.
We did.
We did?
Yeah. I've seen it like twice by myself and with you.
We watched it? What happened?
It's an OVA about the very beginning of the game. And you were like, that person's such a bitch.
Oh.
And then she died.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I did relive that when I played the game, though.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
What about all the middle stuff?
No one likes the middle stuff.
They met like some dude.
Some dude?
Yeah, like the big bad.
Yeah, I guess. And what middle? The movie or like the whole series?
I don't know. At some point you were telling me about the game and then you said they like the big bad guy showed up and like they lost against him.
Oh, he does that a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that point. Like I don't know anything about those points.
Yeah, that's from like 1 to 5.
And I think they mentioned it in Babylonia. Like, they talked about him.
They've talked about
And
him
I was like, what
briefly.
the hell's
He's
going on?
the overall antagonist, but each one focuses on its own journey. So yeah, they decided to animate the last 2, so not that great. That's okay, I guess. I mean, the fight scenes are cool. That's about it.
The fight scene. Yeah, the fight scenes are cool.
Yeah, random butt shots.
Random butt shots, and then when something's moving really fast, just remove all the lines and make it really blurry.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when something hits, just drop the bass.
All right, this is too much FGO talk. We have to save this for an FGO podcast.
We're gonna have an FGO episode. We're gonna need a guest for that one.
Yeah, no, totally.
I'm dropping out. It's gonna be you and that other person.
That's fine. We'll have a gotcha one, and I'll have a spinning wheel, and it'll decide which gotcha we talk about among all of our friends and guests.
Wait, but like, what if you don't get FGO?
Well, then we'll have to roll it after that we talk about it.
What if you get like Fire Emblem Heroes and you don't know anything about it?
Well, that's where all our guests and friends are for.
But what if they don't know anything about it?
Oh, they'll know about it. Don't worry.
Fire Emblem Heroes?
Oh, yeah. There's a huge metaphor. I played it for
Raid
a while,
Shadow
too.
Legends?
No, I don't know that one. I'm sure someone else does. I hope you guys
That's
do.
not a gotcha. Well, actually, it might be a gotcha. I actually don't know.
Puzzles and Dragons? Is that
I know Puzzles and Dragons.
See, isn't that like
Vaguely.
another one?
I saw an art book of it in Japan.
I think Percy D played it, right?
I have no idea.
I feel like he did something for it. Anyways, that's enough gotcha talk for now. All right. Let's go into our main topic for today.
Let's get it. We're talking about side characters today. I picked this topic last week because I wanted a more like chat kind of podcast where we're not really strict on the topic.
Okay.
Like secondary characters or side characters is like a huge, what do you call it? Huge topic.
A huge breath.
You could talk about anything, or you can mention almost any anime for this.
I'm almost like confused on what to talk about.
For side character, good side characters, bad side characters. There's some shows where I like the side character more than the main character.
Quite a lot of shows.
Today's special included. Yeah. If you look in today's special, you'll see a flustered Tsugumi from Nisekoi.
All right. What's Nisekoi? Give me a brief summary, please.
There's 2 high schoolers, and their families are both rival gangs, and they're both like the next in line to get those gangs or to be head of the gang. So they don't like each other, but they have to pretend to be in a relationship, so that their families like stop fighting on the streets. It's like a way to like create peace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
otherwise they would just be
like
committing crime all the time.
Rom-com?
It's a rom-com.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like it's not too bad.
It's your typical harem. It doesn't go as far as being like all the girls like. Okay,
Like him.
wait. All the girls
totally
do
does.
like him. Okay, it's a bit of a harem.
It's totally a harem, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So who is this girl then?
She's like, she's like the maid of the main girl, Chitoge. You should know what she looks like.
The blonde girl?
Yeah, the blonde girl with the red bow.
Yeah, that's all I know about Nisekoi.
Yeah.
She's
like the main heroine.
Okay, but is this girl in the special your favorite character?
Yeah,
or favorite
Tsugumi.
side?
Yeah, she's the servant who develops a crush for him, and I like her better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Does she get more character?
I think she has a better story. Yeah.
Ah, dang.
Like, the main girl doesn't really get much development, I feel, throughout the story. Like, Chitoge is like pretty much the same throughout the series. You've learned a little bit more about her relationship with her mom, but it was really weak, I think, compared to maybe other characters in the series. She doesn't really change much, but Tsugumi changes a lot. At first she's like really dedicated to being her servant, like Chitoge's servant, but eventually she falls in love with the guy himself, with Ichijo. And so her whole thing is like, what do I pick? Like, what am I loyal to? Like, should I care about myself, or should I care about
my duties?
Yeah, my job, or my dedication to
this
her.
family.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's more like I like it because it's
Cute.
it's not just cute.
Well, cute, but it gives like herself a challenge of difficulty, and she grows deciding on that.
Yeah,
right?
it's a deeper story than like, oh, my mom wasn't present in my life, but she's my hero and blah blah blah. That's what Chitoge gets.
Damn, you really put that kind of down almost, but all right, yeah.
I'm definitely downplaying it because I don't like her as much, but
Gotcha. So is it Tsugumi?
Yeah.
Is she friends, or is she just like employee of the main heroine?
Both employee and friend.
Okay. Because I was like, is she just like working there? If she's not a friend,
her family, she's like a retainer.
Gotcha. Okay. To the family, because they're a mafia family.
Yep.
Okay.
In season 2, she gets a lot better because she becomes like more like normal, and she also at first she pretends to be like a dude, to like hide like her sexuality. But her whole story is coming out like and being like true to herself that she's a girl.
And like her own person.
Yeah, and at the very very end, she ends up becoming a model.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because her breakthrough was that like, oh wait, I'm hot.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like, I like fashion or stuff like that. Now she's hot, apparently.
No, so like the person who trained her never noticed that she's a girl, and it kind of like, it didn't frustrate her, but it was like weird for her that he literally had never noticed that she was a girl. So at the very end, she's like, I'm a girl, and then she rips off her shirt.
Okay.
And he's like, what?
What?
You're a girl?
This whole time. Is that like her running gag throughout the series?
Not a gag, really.
It's
and no, I don't think they really play with it that often afterwards.
That's kind of nice, I guess. It's a little different than some series might do.
Yeah, and then she becomes a model, so it's a big development for her.
Yeah.
She changes a lot.
That's a pretty good minor character story. But she's not the one that gets picked in the end.
Of course not.
That's rough.
Unless you go into fan fiction or something. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which I did.
Any good ones?
Not that I can discuss here.
Okay. All right. I don't know what that means, but all right. But interesting. I mean, I've heard Nisekoi has a lot of characters, and it's a harem, so they've all got their own struggles.
I tend when it comes to rom-coms or like pick your waifu shows, like I tend to pick like third place for some reason.
Third place?
Yeah.
She's not even like second?
No, she's not second.
And what do you mean by third place? Like, is there a hierarchical ranking order?
There's a certain understanding that there is a ranking.
Wow.
I don't think anyone's really out there and vocal about it, but you can tell like the
unspoken ranking.
It's not a fan ranking, and it's not like my own ranking. It's like what the show or what the medium itself is telling you.
Oh, I see.
You know?
Like there's a definite number one, and like maybe this one.
Yeah, you can
not so great ones.
Yeah, I mean it's more casual than that, but you can probably analyze it like screen time or like number of encounters or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
There's clearly a bias for some characters over other characters.
I think they tend to do that for an anime, like even though this one might have a specific ending. Even other ones like otome games, there's always one they kind of emphasize more than others, for sure. Even though in the game it's anyone, but usually the anime will pick one to focus on more.
Exactly.
Just from what I've seen. But yeah. Well, anything else?
I did pick right, and We Can't Study though.
Well, but there's a different ending for each one.
There's a different ending with the first ending.
That's true.
But even then, I see this is where that whole ranking thing comes into play, because you know about We Can't Study.
Yeah.
Would you not say that the girl that I like is ranked third place, like based on like how often they show up in the show and like their number of encounters and their kind of ranking in how close they are to the main character or like things like that.
I suppose, but
Introduced third.
Yeah, she came out third.
Came out third. So did Tsugumi. Came out third.
But she had the first ending in the manga.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little different.
She had the first ending in the manga, but that doesn't. I don't know if that affects her ranking if there's multiple endings.
I mean, in that case, it's kind of like the author wanted to do hers first for a reason.
Get it over with.
Or maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the one I
I'm
personally think is lowest is a teacher.
Really?
But I've heard a lot of the fandom actually likes her a lot.
I think she's fourth.
Really? I thought, okay.
Senpai is fifth.
What?
And
really?
then
I think Senpai's above her.
I think number one is actually Furuhashi.
I love Furuhashi.
And then number two is what's her name? Rizu.
Rizu, yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
See?
I like Furuhashi a lot.
Yeah, but they I feel like they clearly gave you a bias like throughout the show.
No, but I think the main three, the one that were introduced, 1, 2, 3, make the most sense being in the top order.
That makes them, yeah. It gets a little muddier when you
4 and
like
5,
add more.
then it's like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Although I did read the ending for number 4. It's actually not over yet.
You mean number 5?
For Senpai. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I did read it. I actually read it too.
Well, it's not done yet, but that was a good cliffhanger. I like that.
I was like,
it's a little dramatic, but the whole series is dramatic.
Okay, yeah. To its credit, I didn't actually watch anything about her or read anything about her until the end.
Yeah.
All that I know about her is like what I read on the wiki and what I read at the end of the show. I think
you might like her a little bit.
Or of the manga.
She's a mischievous senpai. Very fun and teasing, playful, but very serious too. I think that's.
I just don't like her character design.
Yeah,
her hair looks dumb.
Her braids are a little, whatever. I mean, you gotta choose between the 5 different like designs. Basically.
Build a waifu workshop.
Yeah, I mean, same for the quintuplets.
Oh.
You know, you gotta give each one a different style so you can tell them apart, right?
Yeah, true.
Like my waifu has short hair. Mine has curly hair.
I think my best girl in that series was actually last place.
I don't know anything about that one.
If I had to say there was like a bias ranking, maybe she's last place.
All right, so
or fourth place.
Would she count as a secondary character?
Yes, she's a secondary character.
All right, and tell me about her because I don't know anything about the orange hair quintuplet twins.
Well, they're named after numbers, but I like Ichika.
Well, that kind of sucks. They're named after numbers.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So she's number 1.
I mean, yeah, she's the oldest.
Okay.
I feel like they gave her like significantly less I have a crush on him than like the other girls. Uh-huh. Except for maybe a couple breakout moments. So I think the show doesn't want you to
pick her.
Give a shit about her. Yeah.
But you personally liked her. In the anime? Is it a light novel or like a manga?
I don't know. I just watched the anime.
I'm guessing it's a light novel. But, okay. But you still liked her the most.
Yeah. I can have my personal preferences, but I know when someone's not loved.
Wasn't she like from what I saw, the more mature, like, Anessa kind of type?
Kind of and kind of not. Like, she's still dumb.
Well, I mean, aren't they all dumb?
Yeah, they're
That's
all...
the whole point. Of like me introducing them.
Yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to think they're dumb. I don't know if they actually are.
They kind of are.
Okay, but like from what I saw, I thought I forgot they're kind of like all the same age. I thought she was she is the oldest, but I thought she like was a year or two older kind of vibe.
Yeah, she's like a senior.
Yeah.
Or she's the most senior of them all. But the line is kind of blurry anyway.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's one of those.
I mean, it's still trash. I mean, it's a trash show. And I think after I watched it, there was nothing, I got nothing worth, I got no worth out of it. Yeah. It was just like popcorn. It was like eating popcorn.
I wonder.
You're not full. It tasted good. It tasted all right, but you're not full. You're not really like feeling great after popcorn. What did it really do? What did it really do for you other than distract you for a moment?
That's true. I wonder what you would think about the reverse harem kind of stuff,
Huh?
like otome game style.
Oh, I don't know.
Probably the same thing. I mean, it's just the opposite, basically. You switch it over, you get different kinds of archetypes.
Sounds like we're on High School Host Club.
I mean, yeah, that is one of the bases.
That's like an OG.
Oh, that is such an it's such a good one though. I love it.
It's
the
okay.
opening. Now the manga did such a good job of it. I mean, half of it is like nostalgia, but on
The
the
opening
other,
is bomb.
The opening's bomb. But I think the manga touches on several points that are quite important too. It's also interesting that really early on, it's like, I don't really care if I'm a guy or girl or whatever, and like the parents kind of the same, and it's not a big deal. It's
That's
just
true.
like
An incredibly gender fluid character.
yeah. Even in the end of the manga, like it's super not really brought up, doesn't really matter that much. It's just like who you are as a person. And you know, it's dramatic, but it's fun. Rom-com. Mm-hmm.
Kiss, kiss, fall in love.
Okay, my favorite's the Prosy D video of it though.
Yes.
Yeah. It just zooms in, the rose petals. I love it. So extra, but that's what made it fun. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about a rom-com that we both know? Amagami.
Yeah, sure. Amagami. Why don't you explain Amagami? Since most people don't know it.
Yeah, it's what's the word for it? It created like a subtype of like harem show where they don't ever pick the best girl. Like they're all actually on equal footing, in some sense.
I don't know what the word is for that.
It's called like mega bus or something. It's called like a mega bus when like each girl gets her own set of episodes where they like go through the entire romance successfully.
Is that actually what it's called? I thought Mega Bus was a volume where they put it all the volumes together, so it's like a big pack.
What? Like for manga?
Yeah, like you can buy a Mega Bus, like, oh, sorry, that's Omnibus.
Omnibus.
I was wrong. I'm sorry, people.
Oh man, what is it?
All right, but let me give you the plot of Amagami because he introduced me to it.
Is it
It's
Omnibus?
a little old, I think. It can show its age sometimes, but it's a story of a high school guy, and he kind of has like the typical, like, not harem. He meets these girls, and each 3 episodes is a different route. So it's not like he has to pick from one of them.
Yeah.
The story is different every time.
Yeah, it's not one story with multiple girls. It's multiple stories with different girls.
Yeah.
And like in some of them, he like barely knows who the other girl is in the other route. Like they had just never met.
Mm-hmm. Or they don't interact that much in that one, you know? They all got their own lives.
Exactly. That's what I like about it, is that it feels separated.
It's not forced or like pick me.
There's a realistic barrier between his options. Like it's definitely like not as if he could choose whatever path he wanted to go down.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah, it's in a very much not like he has the opportunity, the luck to choose a girl. Like he works towards that.
Yeah, I think it's grounded in reality.
A lot more than other ones now, yeah.
When you pick one girl, you stick with one girl.
I mean, he worked hard to get them.
Did he?
Okay, not really get them.
He's a nice
like,
guy though. Like he's genuinely like a good guy.
He's just like relatively typical guy.
He's not like good guy TM.
Kirito, like
yeah, like copy
always
paste.
good, yeah.
Copyright good guy. Like I saved your life. Now you owe me.
Now you love me.
Sexual favors, and now you love me.
But like, nah, it's just like a typical guy in maybe like 90s, like Japan kind of setting.
Yeah, it's like late 90s, early 2000s.
But it's enjoyable. We don't talk about season 2 because it sucks, or the visual novel because I haven't played it. But I heard it's actually pretty good. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, secondary characters in Amagami. Like, do you think there's a bias in the show?
In the show for who would be like number 1?
Like
pick or like secondary like character?
You know what I mean. Like personally, the number 1 evidence for me that they want you to pick class rep. They want you to pick Ayatsuji.
Really?
Is she's on the cover of the game.
But everyone says her story is like pretty low.
Okay,
not
all my friends prefer her.
That's so weird. I thought hers was pretty bad, and I mean, like, she's almost tied for last, if not second to last.
Yeah, I mean,
so class rep, yeah, her story is a little too anime cliche.
Let me present my evidence to you about Amagami.
All right.
Like why I think they're biasing for her.
Well, should we explain? There's 6 girls?
There's 6 girls. They're like varying in like their relationships to him. Like sometimes
let's go for
their classmate,
senpai, childhood friend, Kohai.
Yeah, friends of little sister.
Yeah, it's a Kohai.
Kohais.
One, right? I guess it's 2 Kohais. But yeah, I think that's it for the different girls.
Yeah, so there's like 6 different girls, and you can look it up yourself, like who they are. Mm-hmm. But his classmate Ayatsuji, I think the show has a bias for her. Case in point number 1, mm-hmm. She's on the cover of the game. By herself. Herself. Yeah.
She kind of has the most basic anime design, I guess.
Let's see here.
It's that one, isn't it?
This one. It's this one.
Oh, the PS Vita.
See, you see that? Here, let's pull it up.
What a picture with the... Let me show you my jacket.
Okay, so this is the cover of the game right here. And
hey,
take a look at that.
Something?
Take a look at that. It's her. It's class rep. There's no other girl on it. There's no sense of equality. Look, even the original. This is the original. Look at that. It's her. It's only her.
This one's a cuter picture.
I
don't know. It's a little less weird than like look inside my jacket.
But yeah, that's number 1 for me. She's on the cover with no sense of equality at all.
Huh.
Number 2.
Okay.
Spoilers. Big spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end of the show, she, her time skip.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only one that shows them when they have kids.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So, you know, if we're talking about actually like true best girl that the show's trying to push you, what other evidence other than that they have a damn kid?
I mean, you don't have to have a kid to be happy.
You don't have to have a kid, but I'm saying they have a kid,
mm-hmm.
and in all of the other ones, except for one, they don't get married. They're still in high school, boyfriend and girlfriend, just having a regular like, oh, we're happy in our relationship now.
No, aren't there some where they're a little older? One or 2 of them. Two. There's 2. Okay, I guess so.
But for the other girls, there's either no time skip involved where it shows that their like relationship blossomed into something more,
mm-hmm.
or it's only a mild time skip and they're not, you know, they're still just like in the same level of relationship.
Oh, but personally, her story was like the worst.
I agree.
If you're interested, please watch it. There's some pretty good moments, and there's like always one weird moment in each one.
Yeah.
But if you ignore that, it makes a lot of sense and is pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Except for class rep, I think she has a lot of weird moments, personally.
But what do you think about that rationale that there's a bias for her?
I think it's a little strange considering her story doesn't fit as well with like all the other ones.
But do you think it's true?
I could see it.
Based on the 2 things that I said, they have a kid and she's on the cover of the game.
I could see it because one of the only other people I know who like know the series, when they picked their top 3 characters out of the 6 girls, and number 3 was her, and I asked why, and he said, "It's not like I like her story, but I just like her. Like not really, but I would still pick her as number 3 out of the 6."
I see.
Which is, I'm like, that's kind of weird because, you know, top 2, your favorites, right? It makes sense. You must have a reason for it. And then you pick her?
Her? Question mark?
Her? I don't know. Maybe the visual novel's better.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it is. But it was just kind of weird in anime. Like, it had a twist that didn't need to be so twisty.
You have such beef. You have such beef with her route.
it just didn't make sense as much as the other ones did.
I think it did make sense, but it was on a crutch. I think it relied on a crutch compared to the others.
Maybe the 3 episode like limit didn't work well for her story.
4 episode.
4? Okay, 4 episode. Because I feel like it really rushed itself. The pacing was a little off. So like, I don't know. It's a little more dramatic than the other ones in some ways. And their other ones are kind of dramatic.
I think the other girls are quite well rounded compared to her. I think they like escape or they end up not being a stereotype.
Yeah, they like
because you start to you get like a little bit of an opposite force with each of them except for her. So I definitely agree with you that her story just doesn't bring out like a well-rounded character.
I agree. I think the other ones definitely give development to both sides, the main character and them. Or if not, the OVAs do a good job of that. But for hers, it's really one-sided. And I just didn't really get like much from it. You know? Except for I guess the ending that we spoiled, but questionable. I don't know. She's just not my favorite.
Also,
but the bro, the fish, oh, he's such a good bro.
Second,
in terms of secondary characters, he's really up there.
He's a super bro.
What a bro. Yeah, he was good. Except for that weird moment where he like runs into the teacher. But yeah.
And it implies that they
I don't know. It was he's like looking for someone to have a good time, and his teacher is like, I want to be young again, and they run into each other.
I think they did the hanky panky.
It's like, what? I mean, maybe only in that route, but that's kind of weird.
He's a good side character though. Never pushes past his bounds with the like being a character.
He's like your normal best friend.
I think he knows exactly who he is in the show. He's like, I'm here for some comic relief, and I'm here to be a bro when I'm needed. Otherwise, don't show up.
But like, what? I don't know. I've never seen like a bro really be that good in anime. Like even let's say SAO. Klein gets shafted all the time. Like he wants to be a bro, he can't be. But this guy was like, I show up when I'm needed. I know what to say. I'm there for good support, while being like a friend who doesn't expect anything back.
Yeah.
Like that was good.
And if you've somehow gone on vacation, lost all of your money, and don't have a way to get back home, I'm going to show up on a boat.
Yeah, I was on a fishing trip.
And pick up you and your girlfriend.
My family owns a sushi shop, and I just happened to run into you guys and pick you up and take you back home. That was like, whoa.
He is a godly wingman.
Yeah, that too. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's actually another girl, but we don't talk about her.
Oh God,
that's a surprise one in the route.
No. She doesn't even count.
That's true. I would not count her, but she showed up.
I consider her the failed. You failed.
Yeah, she is a failed.
She's route. Like the failed route.
In like a kind of yandere way. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch the series. Tell us what you think about it, since it's not that popular, but it's pretty good.
And before we move on, my implicit list that I was talking about. The list that like this show wants you to pick these characters based on like how often they appear and their types of encounters and things like that. Okay, so number 1, class rep, Ayatsuji. Number 2, senpai.
Yeah, senpai is really high up there.
Super high up there. They get married. That's a big one. They get married in the time skip. And she's in a lot of other routes.
She pops up a lot. Her best friend is in like almost every route. Yeah, in some way.
She pops up way more in other routes than other characters. She's also the first one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
She's the first route. Number 3, I think it's Nanasaki, swimmer girl.
Okay.
She also gets a more major time skip than the others. She and him share an apartment in college. Not share an apartment, but she has a key to his apartment. And I think it shows that their relationship also went deeper.
They have a good OVA.
Yeah, they do. Number 4, debatable, but I think it might be...
My guess, classmate?
Yeah. Classmate. I think it's classmate number 4, Kaoru.
The fun, like, kind of your bro classmate.
Yeah, despite being a classmate, she actually doesn't show up that often. So that's why I think she's lower.
Mm-hmm.
But their like end time skip is also talking about their plans for the future, which is nice.
Yeah, but they're still in high school. It's like
Yeah,
the
they're
same
still in
year,
high school.
basically. But
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And then that puts Rihoko, the
Number
childhood
5 is
friend.
Rihoko, I think. Or okay, number 5 and 6 is a toss up. I think it could be Mia.
Not Mia.
Not Mia. Not Mia.
Mia
What's her
is his
name? What's her
sister.
name? What's her name?
Ai? No, Ai. That's Nanasaki. Sae.
Sae. I think it could
The
be
Kohai
Sae.
character.
It could be Sae.
Mm-hmm.
Their ending is really weak though, compared to other characters.
That's true. She had the strongest OVA though.
She had a really good. It's not an OVA. It's a second season.
Oh, second season.
Yeah.
Okay. A pretty strong one. Yeah.
She had a strong second season, but I think the ending of the first one puts her down pretty low.
The first one was also a little weird.
Yeah.
Like in terms of narration style or the direction they went with it was really different.
It was cheesy. It was like leaning into we really want to be cheesy.
Oh, way too cheesy. It hurt. Mm-hmm.
And then
the last one.
Yeah, last one is Rihoko.
Oh, but I like Rihoko.
I know you like Rihoko.
But yeah, that's true. She doesn't get a lot despite being childhood friend, the one that has been with him the whole time.
Yeah, I think
her story is very slow.
I think she was kind of shafted in there at the very end. Like, we'll have a girl that he doesn't show any affection towards.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
But her OVA is a bomb.
The second season?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one where her senpais graduate.
Oh, that's true. She has a lot of like more subtle character development, or like her personality doesn't show quite as strongly as some of the other ones do. But I like her story.
Yeah, I think she's comfortable being who she is, and that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. It's
or she
nice.
ends up being comfortable who she is, because the first thing was like, oh, I need to lose weight.
Yeah, that's her. That's the thing with her, and every time you see her.
Yeah, that's why I think the show doesn't want you to pick her.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because they insult her pretty often.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, she's dumb and she's fat.
Yeah, I know, it sucks. Even her friend, the main character, says that like in the beginning.
And if you pick other routes, she doesn't necessarily like
show up or
show
do
up.
anything.
Yeah, she doesn't necessarily show up.
You might run into her once and just be like, "Oh, childhood friend, what's up? All right, bye."
Yeah, she somehow like ends up being like the least like talked to character,
despite being your childhood friend.
Yeah,
it's different than usual like current animes and games, because a childhood friend is usually the dare, I'm always here, happy, ha ha ha, how are you kind of neighbor. But this one's a little different.
Yeah, she's dumb.
No. How dare you?
What are
what are her traits?
What are her two top traits? Dumb. Dick.
She says she's chubby, and her whole thing is about losing weight when she's in part of like a tea club and like eats sweets. That's what their whole club is for. But I think it's pretty good. All right, well, we went through the series a lot. You better watch it at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you have time to talk about anything else?
Yeah, who are your favorite side characters in things that aren't rom-coms?
All right, I'll talk about Haikyuu since...
We should have a Haikyuu counter. We should have like a little like, yeah,
we haven't talked about
she
Haikyuu.
talked about Haikyuu.
The screen explodes of volleyballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I can make that happen.
Put a little tally mark.
My little counter. Haikyuu, well, I mean, the season just started again. But my favorite side character would probably be Tsukishima, who's in the same year as them. So in their volleyball team, there's like 5 or 4 first years. 5 technically, of the main characters. They're in their first year of high school. And this is a guy who's the really tall, kind of mean, blonde dude. He's also really smart.
Oh, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say so?
The Megane. I love the Meganes.
This guy, he was kind of a dick when I saw him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like he kind of is a dick a lot.
Oh.
But later on in the series, like a lot of the things he says, like his team gets it and like they do it back to him, kind of. It's just like whatever, you know. He's just like that kind of guy a little bit. But His character building, I think, is very good for the series. Also for the team, he's the tallest of a team, or second tallest, and that's like really important for volleyball as a kind of tall net sport. But like, he's also, I think, the only one that is really there for like, this is just a club. I'm not really here for like being too serious, and that mainly puts it like different from everyone else, you know. So because in Japan, when you join a club, it's like in the year round, you're gonna do it every year kind of commitment, and he's good at it. He's tall. He's been doing it since he was little.
He's tall. He's tall. He's tall.
That's literally one of the things I keep mentioning. He's tall. I mean, the main character's short, right? You gotta have that difference. There's also the symbolism of Hinata having the word sun in his name and Tsukishima having the moon. And they talk about that a lot, how they're very different in personality and characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I really relate to his story because his development is a lot of like growing to like the sport and like the people around him. Like there's he has a flashback arc about when growing up and stuff like that and his issues with the sport itself. But he comes to realize that like you can enjoy it. Doesn't mean you have to, but my favorite line is when he decides to ask some senpais in a different school, and they've been champions and are really good, but he's like, why do you play volleyball? Like, this is just a club, like an extracurricular for my resume. And they kind of did joke about it at first, and they're like, yeah, we're seniors, we're gonna graduate, it's just a club. But the moment that like something happens, that's when it's gonna click for you that you're gonna love it, you know. And they're like, you haven't reached that yet, you haven't gotten good enough at this game to really enjoy it. And he's like, damn, ouch. So he works at it, and eventually that moment comes, and it's so good in the anime to see him when he's like, yeah, because he's a quiet, stoic, like, I'm cool type. But it's a really good character. But it has moments when he goes back and forth with it, and I think that's nice to show that, like, he's just a high school kid, you know? He's busy. But everyone else is like, volleyball, volleyball, and he's like, oh man. That's why I like him.
He's like,
does that make sense now?
Yeah, he's like not as hot-headed as other
I don't know.
characters.
He's definitely like the
He's like
least
cool.
hot. He's the cool one. I mean, they're all calm, but he's the most like calculative kind of guy. Like he goes in that little stereotype of like the archetype of the cool, I'm really smart, I think about things a lot type, while not being like as physically inclined. But like,
he is physically inclined.
Yeah, but he like his stamina is a lot less than like some of the others. But it's just like, it's good to see him like grow more into like having fun and stuff like that. Especially spoilers in the time skip in the future, he ends up playing in college still as like a college team player, when like he totally wouldn't have done that if he hadn't started in the beginning. That's kind of nice to see. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he complements the protagonist well?
I think so. Ever since the beginning, like they clashed, but they come to like, you know, work well together in many things. And there's like moments when they show you like they're kind of not calmly talking, I guess, but there's moments when they say things that like really influence each other, kind of. Like especially for Hinata, the main character, he really has to think about like, why do I want to do this? Am I really having fun and stuff like that? When he starts off being like super challenged by everything along the way, in his goal to be like really good, or really good because he wants to have fun. And that also has a lot of that backstory with Tsukishima actually in his flashbacks. So there's a whole lot going on in the background that I really enjoyed that they added in. But there's a lot of side characters in Haikyuu, and my favorite thing is probably that in this series, there's no like villains, right? They're all just there to get good and play. Kind of like we said, the Rivals episode. You're just getting better so you can like, you know, play and beat each other and show off how well you've grown. Whereas like in other ones, like basketball, I don't know why, but he just like decided this one team is an evil guy. Everyone hates him. the fandom actually really liked the guy, but in Haikyuu, there's no villains. We're all just high schoolers.
No, there's totally villains.
Yeah, there's one. Just kidding.
From that one episode I watched, it's the 3 guys that make a wall that you can't get over, because they're definitely like, oh my god, it's the wall. And then all the characters are like, oh my god, the wall. And then the other guys were like, yeah, let's go, school.
Sometimes I forget about them because we kind of beat them so early. And then like they don't really come back as strong, you know? There's like other characters that show up and I forget about them.
They're like the team that gets shit on, basically.
Not shit on. People really like them. It's just like...
No, not like as in like they lose.
They lose. They win another time and then they like, you know, they lose again. They're not in championship finals. Like a lot of the early ones we meet don't show up there because there's only one from their prefecture. So like you don't see them again except for on the side when they're watching and commentating while they're watching it on TV.
Well, they're like, should have built a wall.
Yeah.
Should have made the other team pay for it.
No. Please stop. But yeah, that is my long monologue about Tsukishima Kei in Haikyuu.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I'll need to update what my Christmas present's going to be.
What are you talking about?
Just kidding.
All right. Anything else?
For side characters?
Yeah.
Shikamaru.
Oh.
He's great.
We didn't even talk about... Yeah, all right. Keep going. Shikamaru.
They give him I feel like they give Shikamaru the props in Naruto.
They definitely do.
With his whole episode after Asuma dies.
Damn, yeah. He got a lot.
That was one of the most compelling episodes of Naruto.
I wonder if the writer, is it Masahiro? Mashima? Masahiro really, really likes his character. Because he gets a lot of stuff. Like, more than, like, almost any other side
He
character.
does. Of the side characters, he's, like, the most loved side character.
Yeah. Ref for Hinata doesn't get anything, like,
Oof,
ever.
You mean she takes 2 fat L's throughout the series?
All she gets is that movie, which even, like, retcons half of her story.
She lost there, too.
Yeah, that's true.
She lost against Neji, and then she lost against Pain, and those were her, like, 2 fights.
Yeah, she deserves so much more, but whatever. We're already at Bort now.
But yeah, Shikamaru. They gave him some actual emotional development.
That's true.
Yeah, compared to like Neji.
Yeah, Neji gets it in one go.
See, I remember when Naruto wasn't finished yet, and people were like, "Oh my god, they're gonna kill off Shikamaru."
What?
Yeah,
that's true.
And I was like, "No way! They've developed him. He's done." He's checked. He's already booked his ticket to the end of Naruto. He's good. And I was looking at Neji like, Jonin?
What, like you're gonna die?
Yeah.
Oh, Ref.
No more character development? Didn't do shit in Shippuden?
I mean, there's a lot of characters that had that same checklist.
Yeah, exactly. But see, that was the thing. People like... they did just enough for him.
It had to be someone important enough.
Important enough, but not important, not too important that like everybody would be upset when they died.
Well, people were still upset.
Some people were upset. Yeah, some people were upset. But if they killed off Shikamaru, more people would be upset.
That's true. It'd really change a lot of stuff.
Heck yeah. If Choji died, nobody would care.
I guess. Shikamaru would care.
Shikamaru would care, and then he'd have another episode where he like, instead of going to Kurenai and that scene being in black and white, he's gonna go to Choji's dad, and Choji's dad shows up looking like, what? He's dead? Yeah. Eating potato chips as he's talking.
Yeah. Okay.
Choza.
That's true though. Shikamaru is very important. Like he gets a lot of development ever since the get-go, like in the beginning. He's the first one to make it to the next rank.
Yeah, he gets Chunin.
He shows up in the Sasuke retrieval arc. Is that actually what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's called the Sasuke retrieval arc.
Because we've been saying it like that, and I'm like, I wonder if there's a different name, and we just don't know. Everyone else is like, what are they talking about?
Saving Private Sasuke.
All right, and then I don't know. Shikamaru does a ton of stuff. Yeah, he gets a lot of favoritism.
Yeah, he's a good side character too because he I feel like a good side character wouldn't have exactly the same goals as the protagonist.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Shikamaru don't want to be no Hokage.
He's too lazy for that.
Yeah. He wants to be himself. He wants to chill.
Yeah. He wants to
But
chill.
I mean,
do
he's
his
still
own
like
thing.
duty bound though. Like he still feels
Yeah.
like he has to do something,
He
which
does
is good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he's not like as gung ho as quite in the same way as the others.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Not as gung ho as Rock Lee.
Also, he's a lot more of the strategist type, and like no one else is that. Like no one else does quite the same kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, he has a niche. He has
stands
a
out
unique
more.
end. Yeah.
I mean, they
Smart.
can be smart, you know. They can have tactics, but he's like, I will command the entire army. Like that's smart.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely true. You know, he's playing Death Note. Everyone else is playing Bleach.
Damn. So you're gonna say like 40 chess.
Like, okay, like some characters just play Bleach, you know.
You're right.
Some players are just, or some characters are just like, little did you know, I have another secret power that empowers me with more power. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but
Bleach.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then you know, Shikamaru is playing Death Note. You know, he's got a plan.
Mhm.
He's gonna flesh out like you're not gonna be able to tell what's gonna happen until it happens, and then he tells you what happened.
Mhm.
In all of his fights, actually,
Mhm.
it's like it seems like he doesn't have a plan, and things aren't going his way, and then things go exactly his way.
Mhm.
He's playing that Death Note.
Mhm. I wonder if it's hard to write him because you have to be really smart about how you do it, or else it doesn't look convincing enough. You know, it's like for me, making a smart, clever character is so difficult.
Yeah, actually,
But like, so no one else in Naruto really does that the same way. So I wonder if like
he's
he just
definitely
really plans Shikamaru's really hard.
No, he's definitely not perfect. Like,
Well, he's not.
do you remember how shitty the plan was to
He
get
almost
Hidan?
died. Yeah.
To get Hidan, he was like, Kakashi, what I'm gonna need you to do is, or was it himself? No, it was himself.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to make this guy slash at me, and at the very last second, I'm gonna pull out a blood vial filled with his blood, and I'm gonna put it on the blade as he's swinging, so that he thinks it's my blood, so that he licks his own blood and stabs himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he's not gonna notice. He's not gonna notice you pulling a blood vial out of your pocket and pouring it very carefully on the edge of a blade as you're dodging it. That's his plan.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's his plan.
Oh, I didn't know. All I remember was like a fire. Or
No,
something.
that was his plan. Was
Damn.
I'm going to bait him and like swap the blood.
That sucks.
So it's definitely not perfect.
Okay. But he gets a lot of stuff, and you know, he gets to be advisor in the future. Rather,
Yes.
he has to be.
He must be.
He
There's
must be.
literally
There's no
nobody
one else.
else.
Maybe Kakashi himself, but he's retired, man.
You know who's a crappy side character in Naruto?
What, Kiba? Shino?
I could have said Kiba.
Woohoo.
Sai.
Oh, that's true.
He's so bad.
But he has a...
They gave him nothing.
They didn't really flush him out in a good way, I
They
think.
didn't. They definitely
Like, I
didn't.
barely remember anything about his backstory.
He's
And
one of
that's kind of sad.
He's one of the rare characters where I like their child more than their actual character. I like Inojin way more than Sai.
Mm-hmm.
More than Ino too. Now that I think about it, Flower Bomb.
Yeah, they didn't give her like anything either.
If you ever played the Naruto games, Flower Bomb.
Oh god. All right, but there's one more character to talk about, and that's Joey Wheeler because I used his picture.
Wowie Jeeler.
Yes.
He's a great side character
Why?
because he's cool.
Is he cool? He's kind of funny.
He's like a
he
side.
goes for a lot of lame moments.
Look,
too.
I don't even try. I'm not even gonna try to rationalize why I like Joey Wheeler. I'm
Okay.
just gonna. This is pure
You
Joey
just like-
Wheeler appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Yugs.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yugs.
What was it? Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Serenity. My sister's operation, Yugs.
All right, the English dub. That's what I'm getting from this. All right, but Joey does grow to be a pretty cool character. He goes through some pretty lame moments though, but that's okay. I mean, they all gotta grow in their own way.
I like that he's hot-headed because Yugi's more that mild curry, you know?
Mild style
Yeah,
curry
yeah.
versus like some like not Indomie. Isn't it Indomie the really hot spicy one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Or is that the Korean one?
You mean the
There's a-
Shin Ramen or whatever?
Shin ramen. There's another one that's really spicy. But all right, Yugi's a mild curry. Joey's a Thai pepper one.
Yeah,
Kaiba's like not even curry.
yeah. You know, Joey's got some fire in him. Like
Mhm.
I like that he's not perfect. He's not even that great of a duelist himself,
Mhm.
but he's got heart.
What I always think of is there's a scene in GX and Pegasus talks about his top like 5 favorite ones, and Joey's number 3. Okay, I was like, damn, Joey went up there a lot. And Pegasus's eyes, damn.
I.
All right, sorry.
And Pegasus I. Pegasus I.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, he gets really good, I guess.
You mean strong or like a good character?
Both.
No,
I
he
don't
doesn't get
remember
very
that
strong.
much. I mean, he does enough.
Yeah.
Creative enough. You can see where he gets like his ideas from.
Okay, but you are forgetting the part where his first deck was all monster
yeah,
cards.
I do. I just didn't want to say it.
He was like, more power.
And yeah, Yugi was like,
Use.
where are all your trap cards and magic cards? And he's like, I don't need those. And then, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's Time Wizard.
Time Wizard.
With that,
I
like,
play polymerization.
with that, the baby dragon or something.
Yeah. I combined Baby Dragon and Time Wizard to make 1,000-year dragon.
I'm like, is that allowed? Possible? I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh rules. It's an anime. They can do whatever they want.
I think it was possible, but
I honestly feel like they just create a new monster on the spot whenever they do that. I'm like, you can't possibly have a card for this.
I think it was an actual card, but I think there were some times where he didn't use polymerization. He was just like, Time Wizard, do it.
I think
And then it did it.
I saw a video on YouTube saying like that's not possible in the actual card gameplay. But in the anime, they let it slide.
I think you're talking about when he aged the enemy.
Oh yeah, that one. No, Yugi's right.
Yeah,
to be
he
like
aged Yugi.
some really old mage, and then yeah,
Dark sage
or some-
instead of
yeah.
dark magician.
Yeah, that's like not a whatever. It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
And it was just Yugi like giving exposition like why it's better. He was like, "You aged my dark magician, but in that time he studied the magical arts." And older and wiser, he has become Dark Sage. And then his attack points went up.
Why do you remember this so well? But yeah, exactly. But I'm like, that's such BS, man.
It's okay.
You just pulled this card
It's okay. It's
out
just
of
Yu-Gi-Oh.
nowhere.
It's just Yu-Gi-Oh.
I know, but eventually I got tired of watching Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, this is such BS every time.
Okay, Joey Wheeler
Mhm.
or Brock
Ooh.
as a good side character.
Damn, that's kind of tough. Joey gets more story, but Brock is a good support in the anime.
Brock gets a lot of early story.
He gets all early
with
story.
his pops.
He's always like there for you. Joey's a little like they're very different. You know, one's a hot-headed kid, one's like a mature. I had like 5 siblings. I had to take over the gym. I cook. I'm a researcher. My
That's
resume
true.
is a foot like 5 feet long.
But what I think, like, because we think they're both good secondary characters, is at the very least, secondary characters should complement their protagonist in some way.
That's
So
true.
Yugi isn't really that hot-blooded, so Joey Wheeler is.
Mm-hmm.
When Yugi tries to be nice to all of his enemies after defeating them, and Joey Wheeler's like, "Yeah, losers, give us some stars," and all that, and then instead, Ash is like.
Hot-headed.
Ash is super hot-headed, so when you need something to like calm down or you need a little more level-headedness, you go to Brock. And Brock, like, somehow they make Brock able to squint, despite.
His eyes are closed.
But you know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
He has like a focused face and like a regular face.
I think his eyes just like slant a little more.
Oh.
But like, yeah, there's moments when like he concentrates and you can tell he's like different.
But I can't remember if it's actually in his eyes or if it's in his eyebrows. Like just
think
the
it's his
eyebrows just
eyebrows.
turn in more,
Yeah,
and all of
maybe
a
the
sudden
eyes
he's
too.
focusing more.
I mean, Misty's kind of got that like in between hot-headed, but I'm better than you, Ash.
They're definitely a good blend.
But
of
sometimes Misty and Ash both get hot-headed, and Brock just has to be like, all right, here's how it's gonna go down.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
It's cool that each of them have their own kind of motives as well.
Yeah, that is nice to have like different kinds of goals, different characters.
Different goals, or like, in a given episode, like you could pretty much tell what each of them would want to do in a certain situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they're stuck in a forest. What are they going to do? Ash is just going to go super forward or whatever. Brock's going to try to check his map. And Misty's going to be like complaining like, what did you do? We're lost.
Yeah.
We should turn back. You see, like, it's like all like there. All the parts, you can see them all actually doing that.
Mm-hmm. And they're all different.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're good side characters for Ash.
That's true.
Like, I don't... Like... We talk a lot of good. We say a lot of good about the new Pokemon series, but is Go really a great side character? He's kind of a protagonist in his own right.
Yeah, he is, but I think he is a good, not quite foil to Ash or Satoshi. He's different, right? He's kind of like I'm a newbie, but I'm here to remind you of like your roots, kind of.
But they're not really. They're not pushing that.
They're not, but like they're just like buddies, I guess. But Go is much more of like the Brock than he is like Misty or Ash.
You mean he's like a little more responsible?
He's a little more responsible. He's got his deck.
Is he?
Kind of, but like that's where like they got the hanging out. And
but that's true. But in this season, they literally made Ash like an animal more than a human.
He kept saying that. Like, he does. He's a lot more of like I'm a Pokemon whisperer than like a trainer. But that's okay. I mean, whatever. It's Pokemon. He's having fun. He's got this new fluid animation.
It's almost like in the new Pokemon, there's no side characters.
Mm-hmm. But it's Kohi.
Oh, yeah. She's a side character for sure.
She's getting her slow
She's whatever.
I kind of like her.
She's better than the cook.
What cook? Oh, the other good.
Cilantro minus the tro.
Damn.
Silent.
Wait, really? Oh, God.
That's his name.
I didn't realize that. But yeah, I see.
Yeah, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have the crutch of cooking.
But Koharu gets some slow working development. She's kind of like I'm not really a Pokemon fan, but I am growing to become a Pokemon fan.
When you say stuff like that, it's so specific that it just like makes no sense. You're like, they're this type of character that's like, I'm gonna be kind of a Pokemon trainer, but not really. But I'm gonna be a professor, but I'm still going to school.
That's exactly what she does.
Yeah. But like, it sounds like you're going to generalize the character into a bigger category, but then you go like super specific. Like you just did that for Go just now. You're like,
he's
no, Go's more of the character where like he's kind of a noob, but he's here to remind Ash about his roots, and also he's like, he eventually gets better.
Okay.
And it's like,
so how should I say it then?
I mean, it's just an observation.
Okay. I mean, I guess it only makes sense if you know the series and the characters already.
You did it for Tsukishima earlier too. You were like,
that's just how I guess. Yeah. I guess that's how I explain characters. Like,
yeah,
it's hard when you really
hone down on them. Yeah, you really like get down to the things. Meanwhile, I'm like trying to like just say flatly like, she's this type of girl. She's the swimmer girl.
But, like,
remember, Nanasaki's my favorite.
You like enough information about them. Like I want to know all the details that we can get from a character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's any advantages or disadvantages to either of what we're saying. I'm just we're different in that way.
Very different.
Like Nanasaki is my favorite girl in Amogami, and I just said she's the swimmer girl, and I moved on.
Yeah, the swimmer girl in We Never Learn is very different from her too.
Perhaps the fusion of our two ways of explaining a character would be the best. Yeah,
but we can't do that.
Yeah, goes a optimistic but not Pokemon trainer.
Sure, yeah. I guess so. He's a Pokemon catcher.
Happy-go-lucky, huh, Go.
Happy-go-lucky. Haha, go, lucky. He does get a lot of Pokemon in one throw. That's not fair. But he's the anthropomorphized... What? Anthropomorphic
let's hear it.
game? anthropomorphic, right?
You want the noun version.
What's it?
The
what's
anthropomorphization
that's
of
the
Pokemon Go.
Wait, I want the noun or I want the verb? That was a
Well,
verb, wasn't it?
Anthropomorphic game?
He's Pokemon Go.
He is Pokemon Go.
Is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, we're going a little over time.
Any other side characters you want to mention?
No, not really. Can't
Favorite One Piece member that's not Luffy?
Probably Zoro.
No.
Why?
No.
I mean, Sanji. I liked him before more. Kind of.
I like the Sanji.
I mean, they're both good.
I do like the sandwich.
Mm-hmm. But we're still waiting on some Zoro backstory. So until then,
Maybe he won't get backstory.
maybe not. Yeah, that's true. But I'm waiting for it.
He's just gonna beat Mihawk, and that's it.
That's it.
Is he even gonna beat Mihawk? I mean, Mihawk's chilling.
Well,
His whole goal was to
he's
beat
got
Mihawk.
20 years.
He's chilling.
He's got 20 years
To do what?
to beat him.
But then
The end of the series.
Mihawk's like super old, like, you want to battle, youngster?
Not age, like half the time doesn't matter in One Piece. Some of them are just like, yeah, I'm 80,
No.
but I look like I'm 20.
No. Dudes age
Okay,
in One
yeah.
Piece. Chicks don't age in One Piece, but there've been some crowfoot dudes in One Piece for sure.
I guess so. But Whitebeard's, he was pretty old. He's still like #1 up there.
It's true. Chin's McGee.
Some of them. Yeah, Chin's McGee.
Chin for days.
Uh-huh.
The crimson chin. The white chin.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Chin beard.
All right. It's not even a beard, but it doesn't translate well in English. White facial hair doesn't quite work the same.
White facial hair? What?
Yeah, because he doesn't he could translate to be like
Beard.
I guess it's beard, but someone else said that
It can mean mustache.
yeah, mustache or like other hair.
Mustache.
I mean, it's not actually like on his chin to be a beard, right? It's a mustache.
Is it
Wait,
even
we're not gonna call him white mustache in English, right?
White stash.
White stash? No, it
White
sounds
stash.
terrible.
Silver stash.
Mm-mm. We already got a silver, anyways.
Oh yeah.
You can't do two colors at the same time. Doesn't sound cool, when there's two of them.
See, Rayleigh's pretty old looking himself.
That's true, but he's not terrible, ugly.
That's what I would imagine Mihawk would look like in 30 years, maybe.
30 years. Well, then Zoro's got time. 20 years.
You got 20 years, but even then,
when the series will end.
Mihawk's gonna be a little more chill,
But he's supposed to be a vampire, Dracula, so he's not gonna age very much.
Is he really?
Not just the design.
But there's already been vampire characters.
Well, he's based on the other vampire characters. I don't know. I don't think he'll age too much.
I don't think he's a vampire.
I don't
Well,
think-
he
no,
was
he's-
drinking wine.
He's not a vampire. He just has that classic design of I'm in a castle, I got wine, and got these semi-church, not what's it called, Catholic designs.
Gothic.
Gothic, yes. He's got, and he also has Perona for ghosts and spooky stuff.
Spooky.
You know?
Yes, every vampire has their gothic Lolita maid.
I meant for the ghost, but all right, yeah, you're right. Nowadays, it's a requirement to have your gothic lolly mate. Yeah,
Lolita, not.
Sorry, Lolita. Different, very different.
Very different. One's an arts. One's a what do you call it? Fashion, and the other
is concerning.
It's not for this podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Right now.
Oh God, no, don't. That's an episode without me.
Yeah, it'll just be me talking about lollies for a whole episode.
What would you even talk about? I don't. Never mind. I won't. Don't answer that.
I would play in the background the soft lolly breathing
What?
YouTube video for 10 hours.
Why do you know this?
It's just a meme.
Oh God. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, let's do our outro.
Oh, we're done?
Oh, is there more? I mean, there's a ton, but I just don't
we
wanna
could
go on
talk all
too
day
long.
about the side characters.
Maybe we can release some extra stuff on our social media, like our Kohi, where we can post things, kind of like a Patreon. Yes.
So you're saying we have social media?
Do we?
Do tell.
I just asked you. All right. Well, we've got our Twitter,
Scandalous.
our Facebook,
Mortifying.
our Discord,
Ecstatic.
our Instagram,
Artful.
and our Kohi. No, Coffee, which is basically a coffee version of Patreon.
Extravagant.
Yes, thank you for all those adjectives.
Writing a paper here. Writing a college paper.
Well, you can check us out on any of those. Our link tree to all of them is in the description of our account. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, talk to us.
Yeah, and we'll start posting more things on them. Maybe some extra stuff on our Coffee or Instagram and Twitter. And I wanted to do a quick shout out for the music. I don't think we've ever mentioned it. The music for our channel.
Oh, you mean my friend?
Yes, our intro and kind of like out song is by, was it Hikari Beats?
Hikari Beats. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's just Hikari, but
Okay, Hikari. Well, thank you for the music.
yeah, he's my friend. You can check the description of pretty much everything that we posted on, and you can get their SoundCloud.
Yes.
So
Maybe
go
we'll-
check it out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. Well, that's about it. And since we mentioned next Saturday, we'll try to focus on a series more than like a general topic.
So I guess Saturdays are series. We'll call it Series Saturdays.
Sure. Or we could switch.
And Topic Tuesdays.
Oh, wow. Did you plan that?
No.
Oh, I didn't.
You're the one that made the initial suggestion.
I suggested it. I didn't know which day we were going to pick. But all right. So, series Saturday?
Yeah, Series Saturday. This Saturday.
What do you want to pick?
How about something we really know already?
That's not One Piece or Naruto?
Yeah,
Or
we've
Bleach,
already
maybe?
gone over those
You
enough.
don't know Bleach,
yeah,
though.
we've beat those to death.
Mm-hmm. Another series. Ooh.
Something we both seen.
I mean, there's a lot that we haven't talked about. What have we not
Not that we
talked
don't.
about?
Not that we haven't talked about it, but something we can like talk about in deeper length. How about Aka 13?
Okay, sure. That is a series it's kind of known and yet kind of not, interestingly enough.
It's totally not known.
Yeah, but in the niche group of people I follow on Twitter, a lot of people seem to know it, but it's a good series to talk about. So if you haven't checked it out, Aka 13 is trying to come up with a summary in between our styles, is about a guy who works for the government and his journey through this specific job, I guess.
It's about a government official that has to deal with political fallout from neighboring kingdoms, and he has like a surprising amount of power for a government official.
He's pretty high up there.
He's pretty high up there.
But he's he's not like a hot-headed character or like a boring one per se. But you should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. We'll talk about it on Saturday.
Series Saturday.
Series Saturday. We'll talk about it then. Well, see you guys later.
Okay, bye.